Welcome back, sci-fi fans. This is Greg from Greg Reviews Sci-Fi, and today we're going to review the movie Stasis. So this review is really fun for a couple of reasons. One is if you're like me, and hopefully if you like my YouTube channel and my blog, that means you think somewhat like me, or at least we have the similar styles or tastes or whatever. But if you do, then you probably like what I consider B-list sci-fi. You know, the sci-fi that, you're flipping through Netflix or you're flipping through Amazon Prime and you think, man, that has 1 star, but it sounds so good. I'm going to watch it. And in a lot of cases, they're great. I mean, the sets are low budget, the actors and actresses are relatively unknown, but they have a genuine character about them that just says, "Hey, I'm a B-list or B-list sci-fi movie, and I am what I am," and that's how I feel about this Stasis movie. Now, the problem with reviews is I have to review this movie against, giant blockbusters and, up against, who knows what. But, I'll be seeing Black Panther probably here in a couple days. And, unfortunately, Stasis has to get reviewed up against Black Panther, which has an amazing score right now on, from what the critics are saying. So we have to view this movie through that lens as we go through this review. So let me tell you a little bit about the movie. It's a movie exactly the same premise as the TV show Travelers. I know, it's unbelievable. Like, when I reviewed Travelers, I had never seen or even heard of consciousness being, sent back in time into a person at the point of their death and take over their body. I thought that was a very original idea. This movie is exactly the same thing. People from the future, a dystopian future that's plagued with war and other things, have to, they get sent back. Their consciousness gets sent back to the past and get transplanted into a person's body at the moment of their death. I was watching this movie like, is this real life? Is this happening? Yeah, it's happening. And the goal of the movie is for these travelers, oh my gosh, these travelers, these revolutionaries, rebels, whatever you want to call them, these rebels have to stop this organization called the Cabal. So I have to wonder, which script was floating around first, and or if people had two ideas that are virtually identical at the same time, and one decided to make a extremely low budget science fiction movie, and one decided to make an extremely high budget with expensive actors TV series. Well, Travelers, is amazing. Stasis is pretty good too. It's not amazing because, it's shot in it's a low budget movie. But the acting in it is actually pretty good. So the main actress in this movie Stasis is Anna Har. And she plays 2 characters, Ava and Seattle. Seattle is the future rebel that takes over Ava's body. The issue is that she took over Ava's body before Ava died. So it created a remnant, essentially Ava's ghost. That's how it's different than Travelers, by the way. And it's paramount to the story, so it does diverge a little bit from the Traveler story, which is good. She's played opposite Mark Grossman, who plays the Lancer character, and the antagonist in the show the Cabal Huntress is Tiana Massiane. If I said that right. Close enough, I'm sure. You can look on my blog for her spelling and links to IMDb and things like that. But Anna Har, she did an especially great job because she had to play kind of a rebellious teenager, and then she had to play an older, probably early 20s, late 20s woman that got transported into this teenager's body. So she had to play much older than she was while playing maybe a little younger than she is, right? A rebellious, maybe 14 or 15-year-old girl. I'm not sure how old she was supposed to be in this movie as this Ava character. But it's interesting. So Ava and Lancer are boyfriend and girlfriend in the future. So when they get transported back into the past, obviously Mark Grossman is obviously a grown man, 20 something. I didn't look how old he was, but he's in his 20s, right? He's built, he's good looking, and Seattle, which is the future person, gets transported into Anna's Har's body as Ava, which Anna is young. So I think she's younger than 20. I'm not sure how old she is. So I think she's like 15 or 16. But anyway, so there's this weird chemistry between the Seattle character and the Lancer character, and this big age gap that is super awkward. And Anna plays that awkwardness unbelievable. And in the end, there's like this scene where they almost kiss and you're rooting for them. And then you think to yourself, like, what am I doing? Like, that guy's way too old for her. And it's very, very interesting. I think the acting is what saved this movie, honestly. So I had a chance to talk to Anna on Instagram for a few minutes, and she told me that they shot this entire movie in 12 days for about $100,000. So when you're watching this thing, just imagine that it took 12 days, not even 2 weeks, with all of the sets and the changing of costumes and the fight scenes and the everything. 12 days. So for that, I say awesome. Now let's get to the review. This is getting pretty long. All right, so the story, the story was just Travelers did it perfectly. So when you see somebody else do it differently, and it's not as good. So I give it a 1.5 stars there. The cast, the three I talked about in particular, Anna and Mark and Tiana, really, really amazing. I think that we'll see them a lot more in future movies. Once you play a sci-fi character, you're going to be in a lot more sci-fi. So I gave that 3.5 stars, which I think is good. Sets. This is a B-list movie. I gave it 1 star. I mean, they probably rolled up on set and they're like, "This is the house we're going to use. This is the warehouse we're going to use. Like, stack some stuff up over here. All right, this is the workstation." That's this kind of movie. Costumes, 2 stars. It's basic, basic 20th century costumes. Technology, 2 stars, really. There's no interesting technology. It's a B-list movie. I mean, I don't know what to say about it. Directing, I say the directing was okay. It's 2.5 stars worth of directing. Pretty decent. And originality, I give it a 1 star. I'm just going to give Travelers the benefit of the doubt and say they were first, just because they came out first. They may not have been. Maybe the scripts were floating around for 20 years and someone totally stole the idea and made the Traveler show. I have no idea, but I'm giving it to Traveler since it's altogether a better show in making originality 1 star. So that makes this movie essentially 2 out of 5 stars. Where for a B-list movie, that's pretty good. If you flip through Amazon Prime, You'll see this movie for $2. It's well worth $2. If you're a Travelers fan, this is a must see. Just so that you can be flabbergasted at the similarities. It is hilarious. And then you can also see, Anna's acting, and tell me if you think that she did as good a job as I thought she did. And that's it. I love B-list movies. You're going to see a lot of them reviewed on this channel. So if you like that, hit the subscribe button. Tell me what you think in the comments. I really want you to watch this movie and tell me what you think. I'd like to know if I'm way off and left field with this thing, or if it really has some sort of appeal. All right. Talk to you next time.